Okay, I think we're recording. All right, guys. Hey, it's KJ from For Life Coaching and also Beyond My Expectations. And we are back with Coach Cuthrell. Of course, there were more questions because he gave us some great insight on motor control. So after we ended, George came up with a great question, and we just wanted to go back to Coach Cuthrell and ask him a little bit more about motor control and just his experience, exposure, etc. So, George, if you guys could just introduce, oh, I'm sorry. And Coach Hamilton Cuthrell is a former U.S. 1996 U.S. Olympics invitee, invitation to perform in the U.S. Olympics. He is also a trainer, a strengthening coach. I don't know exactly what are your degrees in strengthening?
Oh, sure. I have a strength and conditioning specialist certification from the National Strength and Conditioning Academy. I'm a personal trainer from National Federation of Professional Trainers. Also, I'm a certified sports nutrition specialist from the National Federation of Professional Trainers. I've been doing this. I'm an old guy. I've been doing this for about 20 years, 19 years.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah,
oh
I've been actually training for that long period of time. Not getting into it, but training people from all walks of life, from all backgrounds, from all sports. I've had the privilege to experience a wide range of variety of people as far as training goes.
So when you say 20 years, do you realize that Ethan and George are less than 20 years?
Yes, yeah, more than you.
Only 17.
Yeah, more than you. Yes, I realize that.
Yeah,
that does not make me feel old at all.
Because you started training when you were 2 years old, right?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Two and a half.
I started training the doctor when I came out. That's what it was.
That's what it's about. Yeah. That's what it's about. So, and he is also a member of Phi Beta Sigma fraternity.
Right.
So, I wanted George to please ask the question that you asked, which was really, really good.
Yeah, so we were talking a lot about motorsports not motorsports, motor control, and exactly how we can build it and how we can just exercise. But what's the importance? Like, what is it really? Why is it so important to build up and to have good motor control?
Because that's a great question. That's the basis of everything that we do. Our body it works in synergistically. That means everything works together for a common end, pretty much. So a lot of people just focus on, like I was saying previously, on weights and trying to get bigger and stronger, not realizing that even a contraction of the muscle, that's a squeezing of the muscle, so to speak. It starts with the nervous system. There are things that are neural transmitters that has to, without getting too technical, has to be released for even a contraction of the muscle to happen. So ultimately, how you control your body, in time and space is the responsibility of motor control. If you don't have good control of your nervous system, it's not activating correctly. It's not signaling to the muscles. There's some type of deficiency or whatever. It's not signaling to the muscle correctly. We're not going to have proper movement. So running, the coordination to just run or walk would be difficult, if not impossible. The coordination of lifting, or especially in your sports, both of your sports are what we call multi-directional. It'll be impossible.
So you're telling me that I can't just go to the gym and just lift weights, take some pre-workout and just keep pushing?
You can keep pushing, but what you got to understand though is even to lift weights, you have to have your motor control has to be, your nervous system has to be already interacting with other systems in your body, right? So it's not just the very fact that you're able to do that, you have that sort of teamwork, so to speak, already happened. Now to sharpen it, so you're better apt to do that. So your coordination is better in the gym. For example, squats. A lot of people are not being able to do squats properly, which creates muscle imbalances, which creates more problems in the joints or the knees as you go, because the movement pattern of the squat is not correct. So it's best to start working on, well, and we'll say balance. Things like working on balance first, which is sharpening, yes, your muscles, yes, but it's coordination. We put in the term coordination, which is really putting a demand on or sharpening and strengthening motor control.
So this is essential for the athlete as well as the non-athlete, because when you think of, you know, people doing operational skills or operative employment, such as, you know, lifting boxes and, you know, lawn mowing and just all those other kind of things,
yes,
they would need
everything. Yes, everything. I mean, I always said, you know, like I said, I had a wide array of a variety of people. So, you know, to the stay-at-home mom, to the grandmother recovering from, you know, hip surgery or things like that, or just anything you do in the gym, so to speak, should help what you do outside of the gym become easier. So if I'm an office worker, it's going to help my posture. It's going to help me carrying stuff back and forth from the copier. It's going to help me cognitively, because when you exercise, it helps you cognitively process things like that. So everything you do in the gym is supposed to help what you do outside of the gym become easier. Everything. There's nothing that you can think of that exercise is not supposed to help out just a little bit.
Okay.
And that
and I know that you've been doing all these clients, you know, you got multiple people coming in, you know, you're having to train them. How have you basically made it so that all athletes that come to you are able to, first of all, progress and to start at a point where they can, you know, get into it and they don't feel overwhelmed?
Oh, that's great. Everything, because we are individuals, everything should be customized to that person, not only to their ability, but also to their personality. And I love the fact when I love putting small groups together, because it is a great benefit when you work with someone, the camaraderie, you push each other. You don't feel like you're in it alone. So I try to, when I can, match personalities, match skill levels, match skill sets, and then put them in a group, small group or none, or large, just depending on those persons, and working that way. And to progress depends again on what your specific goals are. When I do an assessment, what I see that your needs are, and then, you know, we record everything, and then at a set time, we re-record those things to see the progress you've made in that. I have a few sets. One is what you want to do, and two is what I feel like, what I see that you need to do. And so I show you your progress in what you wanted, and then I show you what I saw in my assessment, and this is how we improved it, you know, and I'll go over that plan with you.
And I know that you said that your clients are there's a very big variety of who could come in. You never know who can walk in the door, right?
Right.
How modifiable are the routines created for people?
Yes, very, very modifiable. For an exercise.
I'm sorry. I said I was gonna say. I assume, since you were saying like you don't know, like you could have a 90-year-old grandmother coming back from hip surgery, you know, someone that's coming back from an injury, and you've got to modify specifically for them. So there must be like a wide variety of what you'll be able to do, and specific exercises to target whatever each client is looking for. Correct?
Correct. Exercise, we romanticize exercise a lot. Exercise is fancy movement. It's basically movement. You know what I mean? And so, yes, and to move, we are designed that the systems of our bodies central nervous system or the muscular system, skeletal system, all they work together to accomplish what we're demanding of it. So if we're just going to walk, if we're going to stand up out of a chair, certain things have to happen to even start. Like I tell people all the time, I put people in an unbalanced state because millions of a second before you make a movement, like we don't know that, but our core, which is the muscles, everything but our arms, legs, head is pretty much the core, of our body. Millions of a second before we move, our core fires to get ready, anticipate that move, right? Why does it fire to anticipate that move? Because our nervous system is working and it braces. It sends signals to brace because we're getting ready to move to the left, right? When we don't think about that, it works together. And so, yes, there are movements to strengthen just about any condition. So if I wanted to strengthen a thigh muscle, which we would call the quadriceps, the four muscles in the thigh, for a 90-year-old grandmother who had hip surgery, and then I wanted to strengthen the thigh muscle for a top level NFL player, the movements would be slightly different, but the intent and the result will be the same. Whereas the 90-year-old grandmother, I may do what we call isometric, which is she'll just pretty much hold the movement, i.e. kind of like yoga, where maybe she'll stick her leg out and just flex that thigh muscle, and that would help out a whole lot, just like squats or leg extensions would help out with a highly trained athlete who's using hundreds of pounds. That makes sense?
Yes,
Wow.
sir.
Coach Cuthrell, because we had discussed Beyond My Expectations and some of the things, some of the exercises, some of the potential, some of the machines or workstations we were looking at. Through our dialogue, what did you think when you saw, one or two of the stations? What was going through your mind about how this could potentially help others?
Great, yeah. Create or work on their motor control. I love it. It's everything that I was talking about. The workstations are great. I would like in particular, one of the things I like, the balance component that's in there, because when you're in an unbalanced state, a high demand is placed on, all systems in the body, and your body has to work. Things that you don't realize are happening. Excuse me. And that those workstations were well thought out, they were well researched, and I think they would accomplish exactly what the need is, of the people trying to improve on motor control. I like the fact that as often as possible, especially if it's I was going to say the kids or whatever, but anybody that really needs motor control work or strengthening in general, with these types of places, I would go as many times as possible. I would have them use it as many times as possible. For example, in my time in inpatient rehab, working in inpatient rehab, we had people working out every day, doing skills every day to build skills, to build what we call neuroplasticity, which is yeah.
That's what I'm preaching all the time, neuroplasticity.
Yeah.
You use the word. Thank you.
Yeah. And so to create new neural pathways, your body is trying to do what you want it to do. But sometimes you had a stroke, you had the pathway that the signal goes from the brain to the leg and back up, it's blocked, or it's not functioning the way it used to. So we have to create new pathways around that. So your time in working out or making that movement may be delayed because the pathway is different. But as you continue to utilize that movement, that pathway gets easier. And so the signals speed up. So we need to, in order to do that, you have to repetition. So we had to have them work out every day, for months sometimes. sometimes for weeks, sometimes for months, to build up that to work out. So yeah, using someplace like, if it was a facility, beyond my expectations, or like that had everything like that to work out, yeah, I would. People need that. They need that to work. Not only if you, well, everybody needs to work on motor control, no matter what you're doing, because like I said before, it helps out in every walk of life, every aspect of life.
You know, Coach Cuthrell, what inspired me is I had a daughter who is a USA track and field national junior Olympics medalist, 8th place.
Oh, yeah.
And I have two sons. Yes, and I have two sons with autism.
Okay.
And you know, even though they were in different places, you know, socially and etc., when we went to gyms in New Jersey, it was like an exhale moment for me, because I could work out, you know, I could go do the play, you know, the run through the play things, they could do the things because they were age appropriate.
Right. Wow.
And here, there are not a lot of those exercise places that are age appropriate, and the crowds, you know, because you have little kids, you have big kids, etc. The little kids, my 12-year-old son was a little heavy, and he would like knock them, out the way. Little kids, you know, we would go during the days because it was less crowded. Right. And I couldn't explain to Noah, like, be nice. Noah's like, no, get out the way. So the little kids, 2-year-olds, would come with tears streaming down their face, you know. And I knew it was Noah because his expectations were along the lines of his age. You know, 12-year-olds, you know, just do. Right. They weren't at, and so with that in mind, you have to realize when you're dealing with people with different skill sets, different, you know, different levels of cognition, different levels of social skills, that sometimes you need certain hours that are dedicated to them to make sure that they can reach their full potential. But yeah, we used to do a lot of inclusive things until we got kicked out of a couple places because yeah, marbles in Raleigh. We got kicked out of marbles. We could not come back because no one kept knocking over the kids. So, but anyway, Coach Cuthrell, you are a wealth of knowledge. What do you guys think? Did you guys get a lot from this, or?
Yes, I learned a lot. It's helped me so I can plan out in the future how I can help improve my motor skills, as well as I hope it helps other people find out how they can improve theirs if they need to.
Yes, what about you? I was also on the same page with Coach Cuthrell about the facility as well. Just it's a place that you can go and just feel like everyone, you can bring your friends, you can have fun while also working out and just getting better at the same time. I don't think there's a lot of that around us now. It's just a lot of gyms where you have to really go and you have to know exactly what you're doing before you go. Because, for example, I went to a gym and I had no idea what to work on, what to do, what type of workouts to do. So when I got there, it was kind of like, it was overwhelming. There's people everywhere, you know, people at every station. You see what they're doing, but you don't know why they're doing it. And you don't know how that you can get involved because they're lifting heavier weights than you. But this facility allows it so that, you know, everyone of all ages can come in, no matter like what level you're at, what skill level you're at, or how old you are, or where you are. You can still be a part of it, and you don't have to be looking for what to do because there's just so much to do. You know, you can go there and you can get better at anything and at any level, and then you can just keep progressing with your friends, family, anybody. So I really do think that this facility is going to be a great thing for the future.
That's great. And that's why instruction is so important for that very reason, because I've seen that a lot too. People go in and they don't know what to do. And so they'll either try to pull something from YouTube, or they will, you know, talk to people or try to mimic someone, but they don't know why. They don't know where to start. You know, I'll talk to people and I'll say, how many times you do it? They'll say, well, I did it 10 times. Like, why? I don't know. You know, there's a reason we do things for 10, you know, at 10. You know what I mean? And so, wow, it's crazy. So, yeah, a facility like that would be great, but instruction with a facility like that it's necessary. Because if you just have a facility with no instruction, people are going to run wild, or you're going to see people stand on the wall and they're paralyzed with, you know, fear or confusion, and they will walk out and not come back and things like that, and it not help. So you have to have instruction. You have to have leadership as far as in each section showing people what to do, directing them, how to do it, explaining why. It has to be something.
Coach Cuthrell, you coming to do it? Are you going to be one of those leaders? Are you going to teach?
Yeah, you gotta be. You gotta be.
I would love to be. Okay. Put me in the budget. I'll be there.
If we make you a budget line, budget line item, item on the line, you know what I mean. So yes. if we do that, you're coming. Like, he's only down the street, guys.
Yeah.
About hour and a half away.
About an hour and a half, 2 hours, depending. Yes.
Yeah, you have to come down. Yeah. No choice.
But if it were every day, we would need you to move. So.
Yeah. So
I hear you, Coach.
We'll talk. Have your people talk to my people. Yeah, we'll talk. We can get it done.
You got it. I got the request. I understand. I love your expertise. I love your insight. 20 years. Yeah. I mean, every time I talk to you, I learn something new. It's powerful stuff. It's powerful stuff, isn't it, guys?
Yes,
very much so.
Well, Coach Cuthrell, I want to thank you so much for your time. It is now 8:30 in the morning, and I know you guys have to get to school, and I know, Coach Cuthrell, you have a busy training schedule. So I just want to say thank you so much for taking time out. Is there anything that you want to say before we close?
Myself, I want to anybody who's watching. I always like to encourage. Listen, whatever you want to do, whatever you have dreams and hopes of, whatever it is, there is a way in which you can do it. Please, please, please never give up. Keep trying. You really can. You really, really can make it.
And Coach Cuthrell, if somebody wanted to contact you for training or strengthening or questions or etc., what is your email address or website that they can find out more information about?
Oh, yeah. My email is Cuthrell H, that's CUTHRELLH @gmail.com. You can always look me up on IG at it's called Hamp Athletics, HAMP Athletics on IG, and it's Hamilton Cuthrell on Facebook. Look me up on one of those, drop me a DM or instant message, and we can do it. I answer whatever you need me to answer.
Excellent. Guys, any questions and anything?
No, I don't think so. So thank you again for coming on and lending us your time this morning.
Exactly.
My pleasure. My pleasure.
All right, guys. Thanks.